In this lesson, we will explore the status bar in AutoCAD, going over its functionality and organization, so you can better understand how to make the most of the tools it contains. The status bar is located along the lower edge of the screen. I'll go over some of the functionality of the elements on the status bar. In the left-hand corner, you find the drawing coordinate readout, and these change as you move the cursor. It's really for your information only. This area here has a series of toggles that allow you to turn on and off various modes. Each one of the toggles has its own context menu. Infer Constraints mode allows you to create constraints as you draw geometry. AutoCAD will automatically determine if lines are coincident. For example, it will create a coincident constraint where the 2 points of the lines touch. Or it will create a constraint when you draw parallel lines, for example. I'll toggle that off. Snap mode allows you to create a behavior that snaps objects to specific locations in space based on a grid. You can control how that works by right-clicking and choosing Settings. Here we have Snap On, and we also learn here that we can press the F9 key to toggle this particular setting on or off. You can set the spacing right here for snap, and you can control the way that it works down here. Grid display can be toggled on or off with the F7 key, or you can click here to turn it off or on. Again, right-click, go to Settings, and you're brought back to that same tab where you can control the grid setting information. Ortho can be toggled on or off with the F8 key, and as the name suggests, it allows you to create orthogonal lines which are at right angles to each other, horizontally and/or vertically. Polar tracking is similar to ortho, but it allows you to create alignments on angles other than 90 degrees. So I'll right-click, and let's say I want to draw lines every 45 degrees. I can select this, and then let me just demonstrate that. I'll draw a line from some arbitrary point, and you can see that I can draw it at a 45-degree angle, or a 0-degree angle, or a negative 45-degree angle, which is equivalent to a 315-degree angle, and so on. Notice how the cursor is kind of jumping? That's because of snap. I'm snapping to specific grid points here. If I turn off snap, you see that that jumping behavior is gone, and I can click anywhere. This toggle is called Object Snap, and it can be toggled on and off with the F3 key. Object Snap allows you to connect objects to each other. Endpoint Snap is currently running, so I can draw a line from this endpoint to this endpoint, and rest assured that those lines are perfectly connected. Right-click on Object Snap to get its context menu. This allows you to toggle on and off specific snap modes. You can also go to Settings and toggle them on and off here in this dialog box interface. This next toggle is 3D Object Snap, and you can right-click to see which snaps are available on three-dimensional objects. This is called Object Snap Tracking, and it allows you to snap to points which aren't on objects, but you can track them from existing nodes. So for example, I'll draw a line from here. Let's say I want to go perpendicular to this line. A green tracking line appears, and I'm able to draw a line perpendicular to this endpoint here by using Object Snap Tracking. This toggle allows you to turn on and off the Dynamic UCS mode, which is used in 3D modeling. This toggle is for dynamic input, and this allows you to see prompts in the drawing window. You see it says Specify First Point right there on the screen. This is an example of dynamic input. When this is off, I don't see that information by the cursor. This toggle allows you to show or hide line weight on screen, and this toggle allows you to turn on and off transparency on screen. This toggle enables quick properties. So if I click on an object, it gives me some quick properties related to that object on screen. This is selection cycling, and this is useful when you want to select an object which is coincident with another. That is, it's on top of the other object. This allows you to select objects like that more easily. Finally, there's the annotation monitor. This allows you to flag annotation which is no longer associated with a two-dimensional projection of a three-dimensional model. Over here we have controls related to model space and paper space. These are used when you're laying out drawings to go on sheets. These controls here are related to annotation scale. They allow you to create text appropriate to the scale at which you are working. Over here we have a workspace switching icon, which allows you to change workspaces. This is just like this drop-down at the top of the screen. It has the same functionality. This allows you to lock certain user interface elements. If you have the interface just as you like, with your palettes and toolbars in the right place, you might want to lock them so that you don't inadvertently move them. This indicates that hardware acceleration is on. This is part of the graphics card, and it's useful for 3D modeling. This control allows you to isolate specific objects. It turns off all the other objects so you can focus on what you need to do, and then you can go back and turn everything back on. Finally, this button in the corner is Clean Screen Mode, and you press Ctrl-0 to get out of it. So I'll click here. I go into Clean Screen Mode so that the ribbon interface is hidden. I pressed Ctrl-0 to get out of Clean Screen Mode and return to the regular interface. You should now have a sense of what the elements on the status bar are used for.